Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Apply the appropriate greeting and good. Bloody hell, I've messed that up already. Welcome back to Rising Light. We're doing another episode after a couple of weeks break. Are we on 27?
Yep.
27. Okay, so this one, if you are watching on YouTube, you already know this. Does it include the date on Spotify and that? I think it does, doesn't it?
Yeah. Not in the title, but it'll have the date on it. You can see it'll say so many days ago.
Yeah.
Or feeling that happen. Oh, how did that end up there? Sorry.
I don't know, but I just moved it. So you can get rid of it. But yeah, basically, so a couple of things to get out of the way first. Firstly, the music, as per usual, that we came into was part of the plan. Good guys over there. We had Rafe on episode 4. Cody is the lead singer. Rafe Bound CA on Twitch. Let me close that tab right there, and I'll do exclamation point. Cody firstly, and then exclamation point COTP in my chat, and it gives you a bunch of information there about those if you want to check them out. If you're live on Twitch, you'll see that. If you're watching the VOD on Twitch, I believe you'll see that too. But unfortunately, you will not see it on any of the other platforms. But we do have a clip as part of the exclamation point POTP command, which was from that podcast we did with Rafe, and it was there, stamped on people using their music. And a long story short, they say, have at it. We love seeing what people come up with using the music. So if you want to go on, check him out. Like I said, it's Rafe Bound CA on Twitch and Twitter. The band themselves have their own Twitter, which is at POTP_band. And then he has his own personal one that's for him as a singer, which is Cody J. Weldon on Twitter again. If you want to go and check any of those out, go ahead. But as I said, anybody who's here on Twitch, you will see those in the chat. Alright. With that out of the way, firstly, we hope that the break away for anybody who does avidly listen to these, I know Solidus Lee does, to the point where he was getting on at me for getting on at Kit for putting them up on Spotify, and then he even posted in our clan Discord, Kit, where's the episodes? And Kit was like, I'm putting them up, don't worry, I've got it. It was quite funny, to be honest, because it just goes to show he enjoys listening to it. And when I said to him yesterday, we didn't have a guest for today, he was like, do you know what? You and Kit is great, anyway, because you rant and get really passionate about shit, and Kit keeps you in check. And brings a certain level-headedness to it. So.
Yeah. So, no one to bounce ideas off of, but well.
But yeah, if you want to say before I get into excuses and stuff, with regards to the break, do you want to at least say hi, Kit? What have you been doing these past 2 weeks?
Work and lots of it. Sorting out the episodes, making sure they're all caught up, and got some news as well. For those who weren't already aware, which will be probably most of you if you're listening on audio platforms, we're on Apple now as well.
Okay.
So we're on Apple Podcasts, and that also means that we're on any of the other directories that use them as their base for finding things.
Hey. Here we go.
I don't know them all, so I can't list them off.
Yes, a list that Kit can't get right, so he can't have a go at me for getting wrong.
I probably could, but it'd take me about a week to find them all, and then even then there'd be a couple more added on. There's constantly more.
Yeah, and I'd spend 10 minutes at the beginning of the podcast doing the intro for the music, the intro for whatever guests we've got going on, the intro for the podcast and then all the fucking platforms.
Yeah.
But yeah. So speaking of the guest, like obviously we've got no guest today, which works out because it's our first episode back. We can talk about things kind of like how the podcast was, how it's
Sure.
going, the fact
I
that
did.
you know what's been happening basically behind the scenes, right? So obviously, as Kit said, he's been doing a lot of work. For those who didn't quite catch the episode where we did the updates, like what was it, episode 16? I think.
No, it was more recent than that,
No,
surely.
no, 20, no, it was like 20, 22, something like that. Actually, yeah.
Oh,
I was looking at the wrong thing. I was looking at the notes, and I was looking at the 18th with Dragos on the episode 24, and I was like, oh, that's the episode number. But no. I think it was like 22, 24. I'll have to look at the historical notes, which I'm guessing you're going to do
22.
now. 22.
22.
Hey,
Conveniently, the episode that disappeared from these notes. Because I've just got episode 21 with all of the notes, and then it's like, oh no, we lost 22, which was just us. And then we got all the notes for episode 23. I don't know how that happened. It did.
I didn't have editing permissions on your document for the historic notes, so I thought you'd move the notes all over because I couldn't.
Oh, I not updated.
And then you updated it for the new one. But yeah, we did the old updates thing. We said, look, Kit's got a job now. It's going to be a bit rush around sort of thing for anybody that does come on. You might not get because Kit finds all the topics. You might not get the topics until the Thursday if you're going to come on and be a guest. But for the most part, like the whole point of the podcast is for people to just get your honest opinion on something and vibe with you and maybe find someone else they want to watch.
Oh, yeah. In fact, it might even be better if we don't give them much notice as to what the topic's going to be.
Yeah, that's what I'm
just
thinking.
Go straight off, like what's in your head.
Yeah. And then you've got on the subject of guest, we don't have a guest this week, despite and we didn't have one last week, and we didn't have one the week before. And I've basically worked for the past like 3 weeks trying to get somebody to come on for this week, but and this is gonna. I warned Kit before we started for the podcast. This is gonna kind of sound entitled, but I'm approaching people, sending them DMs on Twitter, Facebook, Twitter, Discord, whatever. Obviously not Facebook. I don't know any of them personally. And so I'm like, oh, do you know, I can. We've got this podcast, me and Kitsune. We're part of your community. We'd love to have you on and get your opinions on a couple things. Or this, yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, just basically asking them to come on, being as nice as possible. I don't want, whenever I hit somebody up, like, I messaged Pigeon. Like, Pigeon is a good friend. I was one of the people that played Apex with him right back when he first started playing it, because he'd never, like, really got into it. So any time he says he enjoys Apex, I kind of feel like I'm partly responsible for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I consider Pigeon a huge friend. And here's the other thing, right? So when I reach out to somebody, if they haven't seen, like, let's say I reach out to Pidge and I haven't been in Pidge's chat for 3-4 months, right? He's gonna be like, especially just recently when he's been making a partner push, right?
Yeah.
He's gonna be like, maybe they're using me for my numbers, you know what I mean? When in actuality, I personally, if we had Glad come on the podcast and not a single one of his fucking followers followed me, I could care less. You know what I mean? I want people to come on and talk, and then this is essentially a way of me giving back to my friends and communities. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the way I look at this podcast.
That's a good way to look at it.
If it was easy for me to, like, sort out a whole new channel for Rising Lights and, like, me and Kit to fucking stream to it, like, alternatively, me stream from my PC and then him stream from his, like, then I would do that. Like, but it's not that easy. It sounds easier because, you know, it just sounds like, oh, well, you can just log in. But you want your OBS to be set up how you have it, right? You don't want to have to keep. So, like, the podcast scenes are already in my OBS. Not like a separate scene pack or whatever that I pull in. It's part of my actual scene. To the point where I could press 1 and it'll go to my live scene. Yeah, which, you know, I press 5 and it goes back to the fucking podcast content scene.
Mm-hmm.
But so my whole point, and like I said, I'm gonna sound kind of entitled in the sense it's like I'm saying to somebody, hey, I want for anybody who hasn't met you on their journey through Twitch to meet you, because you're an awesome person, you're an awesome creator, whatever. And sometimes I feel like I have to temper who I'm going to ask. You know what I mean? There's a couple people on the list in front of me right now I would love to ask, but I'm pretty sure a few of them would go, either, oh no, I don't want to do it, or oh no, they're just using me. Like, I really could care. Yeah, I personally could care less. Like, your whole community could come by and drop follows and then unfollow the very next day. I really would not be upset.
Yeah.
To the point where
not many of the people we've got on the list have communities that would do that, but
yeah,
if it happened, you know, it wouldn't be
exactly. But the point is, so I was at 295 followers the other day. Somebody unfollowed, somebody else followed. I was back at 295. Somebody unfollowed, and then another person unfollowed. I'm now at 293. Am I bothered about that? No, not really. Would it be nice for me to have kept those followers so I would get to 300 faster? Sure. But at the same time, I started Twitch fucking years ago, and I've been on and off until last year where I started taking it seriously. So about 30 of my followers are probably like inactive accounts anyway, from like friends and stuff that followed me back when I used to do, you know, Call of Duty stuff, Halo stuff, Division 1, like.
So I think
the way I was gonna say is, so it's kind of inflated anyway. So the way I look at it is like, people want to follow you, feel free. I very much appreciate it, but I also could care less if you turn around and go, all right, I don't want to follow you anymore, and leave. Like, fine.
Yeah, and that's down to the way that, like, I think I don't know about you, but the way that I see a follower is sort of like something to be like some way to get to our channel faster and saying, hey, you know, I want to come back 100%, here more often.
100%.
You know,
I think I said it on the podcast before. It's like, I've always said for anybody to always raid at the end of a stream. Whether you have got one viewer sat in your chat, or like I did earlier today, I had 11 people sat in mine. I didn't even realize I had 11 people sitting there just chilling. I literally hovered over my because I have my view account hidden. Yeah. But obviously, if in OBS, if you hover over it, it pops up, right? So I hovered over it as I was raiding Civic, because that's where I was deciding to go for the raid. I was like, oh, cool, we're taking 11 people over to do Civ. Cool. And then when I got into Civ's chat, it said it raided with, you know, 8 people. It's like, oh, well, you know, 3 people got lost in the raid, or 3 people were inactive. So Twitch turned around and went, okay, we'll just put them on a host. We won't put them on the raid. Fair enough. Like, whatever. But even if that number was 1, like, I'm still going to raid Civ because he's a friend. I want anybody who hasn't met him to meet him. Do you know what I mean? the way I've always, and I think this is what I said on the podcast before, was the way I look at it is anybody who comes to watch me, yeah, is either a friend of mine, like Lee, Otis, you, Fiend, my, people who I've met, Yokai. um, but yeah, people who I've met doing this, or they are going to be interested in the content that I'm putting out. And if they're interested in the content that I'm putting out, I have probably taken some sort of what's the word? Influence from other creators. So the likelihood is, if I find that creator entertaining, the community that follows me is going to find that creator entertaining. You know what I mean? And their communities are going to probably line up a fair bit with mine, to the point where Twitch even has a section of the creator dashboard where you can see where communities cross over and how much percentage of your community is also part of somebody else's community.
Yeah, which is quite cool.
Yeah, I think mine and yours is like 80%.
Yeah, it's pretty high.
But yeah, so I'm reaching out to these people. I want them to come on. I want to give an avenue for more people to check them out. And if nobody new comes in to see them, fine. Like, nobody new comes in from them to come and see another guest we have on later down the line, fine. Like, you're not obligated to go and watch somebody just because we've had them on this podcast. But sometimes I'm sat there and I'm like, oh, there's nobody live. I don't know who to watch. And then, like, I'll look down the list and I'll just see, oh, right, well, Amaze had this, and Anubis had this person on the Vibecast, and I followed them. Let me go and, like, check them out. They're live. You know what I mean? That's how you end up finding new people you enjoy watching, and that's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
And so, as you said, the follow is basically just a way of finding a channel faster. So if I go into Civ's chat, and then he raided somebody I don't know earlier today after he finished, he raided Silverspear. I already know Silverspear. But if I didn't know her, I would follow her and then be like, okay, I'll come back and check you out at another time. If I haven't got time to chill there for a bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's exactly the way that I see it. I see it as like it's making a bookmark and telling them that you've made the bookmark.
Yeah. It is also the freest way to show somebody support.
Yeah.
In a sense of, if I go into, let me pick a random name from our list of potential guests. There you go. I mentioned her a minute ago. If I go into Silver's chat, off of a raid, and I'm like, I've spent like an hour there, and I'm like, this person's pretty cool. I'm gonna come back another time, follow, and then you chill for another like hour or whatever, however long you've got time for. Do you know what I mean? And then maybe you come back later down the line, again using the follow as a bookmark, and you're cool. Like, there's a few people on our list, I don't spend time in their chat, but I follow them because I've interacted with them on Twitter, I've interacted with them in another stream, I've interacted with them during a raid, from another stream, to like how I initially met Hath, the old leader of Favored, was Baggy Noodle Arms raided him. And then I mentioned I played Destiny, and he was like, comes we haven't played with you, because I mentioned that Karma was my cousin. I was like, oh, because I'm on Xbox at this moment in time. But when I get on PC, better believe I'm down to play. His timing never matched up with mine, which is unfortunate, but he basically off of the back of that then offered me a place in Favored, and then Baggy was the one that actually invited me, because obviously him and Hath talked it through, and he got to know me through me being in his streams and stuff like that, like, and through Karma. Like, that was the easiest way for me to support Hath. back when I was like on Xbox and stuff, just follow, and then I can come back and I can chill and lurk in his streams. You know, whenever I'm just chilling, relaxing, playing games or whatever. It's an extra viewer. It's the freest form of content. And then if you want to actually monetarily support a creator, sub, bits, whatever. You know what I mean? But I think too many people focus on numbers. Personally, I am not too bothered myself. We go.
Sometimes I like numbers. Like
I
the
mean,
number 3 is feeling pretty good right about now.
number 3.
Yeah. First topic in Twitch.
Oh, okay.
Three more features from Twitch are making their way over to YouTube. Some of them we've mentioned that they were going to bring across already, like the clip
Yeah.
one we've mentioned before. But they're probably rolling them out now.
You can actually clip videos as well, which is kind of dumb.
Yeah.
But
Well, you can make clips in a VOD on Twitch.
true. Actually, that reminds me, I've got to go back and find a clip of me launching myself off the map
That'll be
from
amusing.
Apex earlier today. So
Yeah.
thanks, Kit. You just reminded me to do that.
See,
Um,
good things happen when the podcast is live.
Yeah.
So obviously we've got the clips which we've mentioned already. They're adding polls on live streams,
oh yeah.
which I'm surprised they didn't already have.
Yeah.
And
I would have thought
what was
that
the
would have
one?
been something that
There's three, but I
easier to
can't-
do on YouTube.
the clips, polls, and I can't remember what the third one is. It'll be in here somewhere. Hang on. Oh yes, sub only chat, which is basically follower only chat because subbing.
Yeah.
Subscribing on YouTube is basically like following on. I don't
Which,
like the. I don't
which
like
could
the
have been,
word.
which if you'd have remembered that one, could have been a great segue from what I was just on about.
It could have been. It probably was a better. Probably was a better segue than hey, the number 3.
Yeah. But right, so with that being said, just quickly to finish off what I was on about before you said the number 3, we didn't have a guest for the past 3 weeks, and it kind of got to me that I was asking people to be on and they didn't want to. You know what I mean? And then obviously you being at work, me having my kids and my fiance, family life, you know, basically stress just altogether got to me to the point where I almost, and this is gonna sound very fucking dramatic, I almost messaged Kitsune and said, "Do you know what? The podcast, yeah, it had a good run, but fuck it." I'm not even kidding.
We were this close to like putting together like a grand finale and being like, hey, you know, this is gonna be the last one. It's been a great run, and we'll have like everyone on, like, well, as many people as we've had on previously on to just sort of like throw a big party or whatever. Be like, hey, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time we do something.
But I don't. This is the thing. At the same time, that's why I was on about how I see it more as a giving back to communities and our friends.
Yeah.
Is because I don't want to do that. Because then somebody who might not have been on a podcast before, who was it we had as our first podcast? Quite a few people have been on.
Quite a
us.
few of them, yeah. I think was
Like
one, and who else was it? There was someone who'd just been on a podcast, and there was someone who was going to go on one soon, and we'd managed to slot them in just before. I'm so bad with these things.
I know. When we first had Otis on, he had just been on the Vibecast.
Yeah.
And the same with Scott a couple weeks back. And episode 26 at the beginning of the month, Scott had just been on the Vibecast literally like the night before. Which is quite funny. But yeah, let's carry on with the Twitch topics anyway. We've got a streamer got permanently banned from New World after milking a cow.
Cow, yeah. This is kind of Twitch and kind of random stuff, and also Amazon because it's Amazon's MMO. Anyway, it wasn't like anything
I'm gonna mute this just in
I don't know
case.
anything. Oh yeah, yeah.
But let's.
What happened is she was
Wait,
like,
what?
it's a proper in-game action. Like you go, you milk the cow. It was a bug. Is what happened. It was a bug. It was confirmed a bug. Um,
I'm sorry.
yeah,
I've got a full screen. That's fucking brilliant. Bessie is the name of the cow. She literally. Watch her
yeah.
face. Watch her face.
It's just they're like,
Her
what?
face. Her face is fucking priceless.
Yeah. But like that's you're just like you're just doing
Brilliant.
something that you just it's just one of the things. So, like you do it for like a quest or something, or you're like, oh, you know what? With milk we can make cheese or we can make butters. We can do all sorts of
Yeah.
nice food. I just like
That's
banned.
fucking
Oh,
great.
oh,
Oh,
yeah.
reason you have been banned.
Yeah, isn't that even a useful reason either? It says the article just below that, it says that she was under the impression that milking cows wasn't allowed. But another streamer, Asmongold, heard about the ban and called her to provide some assistance, saying that her chat with milk we can make bans too. Yes, we can. Yeah, they're watching the stream and they said it was an accident. After talking to someone from the New World team,
Oh wow. This is
so
fucking.
it's confirmed. It's okay to milk cows in New World.
I thought it was gonna be something along the lines of fucking, the milk came squirting out and it looked like something phallic.
No, no, no. Didn't even get the fight. You just crouch down, get a bottle of milk, ban.
Fucking
No.
shit. Oh, what was Yokai saying? With milk, can we make bands too?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Bottles of milk can ban you from games, but what they can't do is save you from DMCA.
Good segue. See that one.
Thank you.
What the fuck is this? Amazon?
I don't know about the advert. Of course, it's Amazon. Yeah, there is. As the title of this article says, a way for Twitch streamers to avoid DMCAs that might actually work, and it's not really avoiding it in the way that you think. That's not copyright. That's calcium. God's sake.
Oh, Yokai. We need to get Yokai on here at some point.
If you'd
That'll be a
said that
good-
sooner, we probably could have had him on today.
That would have been
well.
a good episode, isn't it?
Oh,
The two
well.
brothers and me. I still remember us fucking going
Anyway,
through dungeons and shit on Xbox.
Oh god, yeah. So someone's made a Twitch extension called Spotify Synchronizer, and basically what it does is instead of actually having the music on your stream, which is what's going to result in like your copyright claims and stuff,
Yeah.
is you play your music in Spotify, and you link this to your Spotify account, and what it does is it kind of, like you can have on Discord, if you've got Spotify linked and you play music, someone else can go, oh, listen in with them.
Yeah.
Like, and like, when it goes to the next song, it'll move to the next song and stuff. It's that. So basically, I would have Spotify open, and I'd click the button on the extension, and I'd play the songs that you're playing, that you're listening to, and we'd all be listening to the same music on Spotify, and the artists would get all of their listens through Spotify perfectly fine, and there wouldn't be anything on the VOD or the stream for Twitch to worry about.
Yeah. Now here's the problem with that though.
It is janky.
Does my having Spotify Premium pass over to the people using the extension?
Oh no.
Because if not, guess what? They got ads.
You're gonna get ads every now and then, yeah, and then it won't be quite synchronized, or it will, but they'll just like miss the start of the song for an ad. But it says further down this article, that said, there's some jank to it, which we've just sort of explained.
Yeah.
And there are some things that it can't do, like if you skip to the next song, you have to resync it because it'll only track from the song ends into the next song because of limitations with the APIs and stuff, which are things that Spotify can fix in their API if they want to. They probably don't.
Alternatively, streamers who are using this just go into your Spotify and drag the progress bar right to the end.
yeah, instead of hitting next, you just drag it to the end.
Big
But
brain
it's a lot
plays.
easier. Yeah, but it is a lot easier to simply press next on your keyboard or your Stream Deck or whatever you're using,
I mean, yeah, true.
or from your
But
or from your phone.
not
You know,
all
you've
of
got
us.
a Spotify app open on
Not
your phone.
all
You're
of us
listening on
have
your PC.
them. Thank you.
Okay, fine. Or whatever cheaper or free alternative to Stream Deck, or just have the Spotify app open on your phone.
Which is what I do.
There
But then,
we go.
even then, you can drag
You can drag, you
progress
can
bar.
scrub across, yeah. But what it says here is that it should go without saying, but the DMCA dilemma isn't the kind of monster that you can slay without cutting off countless heads. It's like, what was that one that's got like 9 snake heads?
Hydra.
Is it Hydra?
Yep. Because that was the
Okay.
whole shtick behind the
Oh, you
enemy.
cut off 1 and 2 more grow and shit like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the whole thing behind Marvel when it first came to making like Shield and Hydra in the Marvel universe was that they were an organization where you would cut off the head of one of them and 2 more would spark up.
Ah. Didn't know that. Makes a lot more sense now.
Because they were so
Anyway,
secretive, you wouldn't know where they were coming from.
Yeah.
But yeah, apparently it's inspired in part by GTA RP. Streamers.
Yeah, because obviously if they're listening to something, then there was obviously you want people sort of in the surrounding area, well not necessarily in the surrounding area, but like in the same group or whatever. If you're all doing the same thing, you're just having the same sort of soundtrack going on and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Oh,
It's nice.
wow. From a way to avoid DMCA to well, an easy way to avoid DMCA is just not have your VOD include your music, but
Yeah. There probably weren't many decent segue opportunities there.
yeah,
But I applaud you for
the
trying.
closest thing I could think of is clips.
Yeah.
Relating
Yeah.
it to clips.
Cross clip.
There we go.
Yeah. Tools for DMCA onto tools for clips. Streamlabs have launched a new program or site called CrossClip, which basically sort of streamlines exporting your Twitch clips and putting them into other services like TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Well, putting them across to YouTube is fairly simple anyway. You can just link your Twitch and your YouTube and just go send.
Yeah.
But for things like
here's the
TikTok and stuff, you've got the like formatting and stuff to do.
YouTube Shorts has that same formatting as TikTok.
Ah, cool.
But yeah, here's the thing: do I have to be using Streamlabs OBS to do it?
I don't know. It's available as a lightweight web tool in an iOS app, so I would assume not.
Core functionality is free, but premium subscription. How about fuck off, Streamlabs? You want people to pay for Streamlabs Prime, and you know it's a whole fucking bunch of shit from what Fiends told me. And now you want people like I understand you've got to make your fucking money, but when there's free alternatives to your fucking software out there.
Yeah, I mean this does make it easier, but I mean
there was literally a site. There was literally a site mentioned. I was watching Coty, right, and him and Zach W Keys were playing. And Zach said, "This is the site I use for my TikTok videos." Coty made a note of it, right, and it literally does exactly what is in this portrait picture thing here. Portrait split.
Yeah.
Oh, this. It literally does exactly the same thing. Moves your camera from like the side to above, right? So why would you even bother paying to use something like this? Now owned by alright, but front point proven. I'm closing that tab down already. Logitech, fuck them. Seriously. They're a company that has put their fingers in so many pies.
They are everywhere.
Like it's pointless to even bother. Like what's the so they obviously they've got mice, right? They've got keyboards now. They've got fucking
they've got all their Office products and their Logitech G stuff. all our gaming products.
Yeah, and it's like,
That
so
was
basically
fine.
what you're saying is you couldn't handle, you know, Razer, HyperX, whatever, fucking taking. Elgato's doing the same thing now. Like, just recently they had the Elgato fucking preview shit where they released their own camera. It's like, you motherfuckers had Camlink, and that.
Yeah, but that was if you had an existing camera.
Yeah, I
You know,
know.
if you didn't, then you'd get a webcam from somewhere.
No, but at the
There's a
same time, what I'm saying is they weren't
But,
in
yeah,
the webcam market, and that is part of the
Mm.
they putting themselves in it.
Yeah, but when you've got all of the other
That's
streaming
like,
peripherals, you may as
it's,
well have a webcam.
I know. I'm saying with regards to Elgato, it's different because it's streamer.
They're already sort of in that
Yeah,
space.
but it's it would be like Go XLR turning around and going, oh, by the way, we're just gonna do a computer now.
Yeah, no, okay. That's
Why?
not happening.
What would be the point in that?
Well, actually, Elgato's Corsair, isn't it?
Yeah.
They've got all sorts of other divisions, haven't they? They've got all their towers. They've got all their peripherals.
Well, the point is as well. You think about it, Elgato, all of a sudden decides to start, the COO or whatever they fucking called in Elgato turns around and goes to Corsair and goes, oh, we want to start making a fucking keyboard, a gamer keyboard, and Corsair's just gonna go, ha, no.
Yeah, because that's our thing. But if they're like, I don't know, you wouldn't really have a keyboard that isn't an office keyboard or a gamer keyboard that would like be targeted for streaming.
Mm-hmm.
There isn't one. Like, what would it even do? Because like the more things you put on, that's like, oh, you target for streamers and stuff. That's not a keyboard anymore. That's like
A Stream
that's
Deck, Stream Deck touchscreen buttons on the top of a keyboard. There you go. That's about as far away as you're gonna get.
Oh,
Instead of a numpad,
a Stream Deck.
Basically, what I use my numpad for.
Integrated Stream Deck on a keyboard.
Like legit, look. I'm on 5 now for seeing. I press 4, boom, done. Press 5, boom, done. Back. Like that's literally what I use my numpad for. That's what you use your
numpad for anyway. But if your numpad had folders.
Yep.
Okay, there might
Elgato, hit us up. Got a business proposition for you.
Yeah.
You can sell the keyboard for £100, $100, whatever it is. And just give Kit 10% and me 10%. You can keep 80% yourself. There you go. Because I know for a fact that I'll make a shit ton of money and I won't need fucking 50%.
Have you seen the price of Stream Deck? Integrate that on the side of a keyboard where the numpad would be. At the price like you'd get for a normal keyboard anyway. Like Corsair have got keyboards that don't have the numpad. Just have that on the side. That's like 50, 60 quid on its own. That's near 200 if you got the included thingy.
Yeah.
Along with like Elgato branding and stuff.
But at the same time, I'm saying make it cheaper so that more people can buy it and make more money. As I've said in the past. On the podcast.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're getting sidetracked.
At this point, neither Corsair nor Elgato is like the child entity. Neither of them need a loss leader.
True.
DMCA rules are changing again. Well, they're not really. They're the same rules. They're just being more clear in their
rather than a blanket statement of you can't play music. It's like, all right, this is what you.
Yeah, this is what you need to be careful of, the circumstances and stuff. It's because it wasn't very well worded in not the terms of service, their guidelines, right? Now there is like specific guidelines for dealing with DMCA, what to do when the takedown's issued and stuff. How you can file a counter notice if you're eligible for one. If you think it's a fraudulent claim or whatever. And it kind of goes hand in hand with the.
I just want to highlight. I just want to highlight this section right here. Right, Twitch is still on the hunt for repeat infringers. I'm here, motherfuckers. I play whatever the fuck I like.
Yeah, live, but it's not in the VOD, is it?
It's not in the VOD. Fuck 'em. It's free fucking advertising. I literally have a playlist that is called
it's
UK Vibes, right? And
but
it is
it's the
all
one
UK artists. It's grime, hip hop. It's all UK based. So there's KSI in there. There's N-Dubs in there. There's fucking Stormzy, Ed Sheeran. There are artists in there that US friends of ours have come in and gone, yo, this is a bop. Like, who's this? And I say, you don't know who so and so is. And they're like, nah. I'm like, holy shit, dude. They're fucking amazing. Here's
yeah,
another song of theirs. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. And that's fine. Like when you're interacting with chat and everything, you know, that works. Not necessarily on the legal front, but in a scenario as like or sort of encapsulate it in its own bubble, that works. What doesn't work is if you sort of do that and it's in a VOD, because that's the one that like a lot of the labels never care about, because that's then their content on demand. At least if it's just live, it's like, okay, well, it happened to be there, but you can't go back and just like keep looping that bit if you want to listen to the song. And like, if you're dead set against having Spotify or watching it on YouTube or whatever for all the metrics, you can just keep looping that bit just to listen to the song. Which is their main.
Then we come back to Twitch needs to sort something out like the copyright system on YouTube.
Yes. And they probably have something a little bit similar, but it might just be like a load of third-party tools that are running on Twitch, like whatever. Twitch needs something. Especially if they're on the hunt for repeat infringers, a tool like that would be pretty helpful for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, apparently the users seem happy with the new policy. At least those who know it exists.
This particular one doesn't. I don't know where they got this picture from. Oh my god. What does that have to do with the article?
I don't know. It's just a picture of someone. Maybe. Oh, because they got a quote from that person.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I did go and have a look at the DMCA thing. They did mention that the copyright notices aren't permanent. Like you've still got like the 3, 4 for some people strikes and you're out system with it.
I'm pulling a confused face right now. How the fuck can a strike, 3 strikes and you're out, fucking not be permanent?
Here's the thing, it is. But if you have, like, let's say you've got an infringement and then a year goes by and then you have 2 infringements, that you're not out because the first one is so old that they don't count it.
Oh. So essentially they're saying, fuck you, music industry!
So it's supposed to be sort of counteracting to, like, if you've got, like, 3 or 4-year-old clips.
Oh, yeah.
That suddenly get a load of notices on them. It doesn't start going, okay, you've got, like, 700 fucking infringements, you're banned. You'll still have them pop up and you think, like, hey, there's these infringements, you should really deal with them, like, see if you can do something with them with the audio or just get rid of the clip, You'll still have all the notices in the dashboard in that, like,
No, but there's the thing then. There's the thing then. If the time frame is a year,
such antiquated. I don't know how long it is.
But let's use your example, right? A year. Let's say you've got 4 clips from last year that have got
that suddenly get strikes on.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Are you banned? It's been a year. The ban doesn't stand, right?
I don't know.
See how fucking stupid and confusing this shit is? Just blanket statement, say yes or no. And if you're going to say yes, DMCA sticks, then you're essentially saying all streamers must basically do what I do. Right? And use Spotify and have it not as a VOD or whatever other source of music they want to use, and not have it on the VOD and blah 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 blah, right? And if you're going to say no, then you need to stand on your own 2 feet, Twitch, and say, fuck you, music industry. Not musical artists, you're fucking cool. Like, you are allowing people to play your music. It's the industry fat cats that want the money that we want to say, fuck you too. People who are in positions of power within music production. So back when Eminem first started his career, right? The person who was in the seat of power with regards to Eminem was Dr. Dre. Now, Dr. Dre himself is an artist, so he's, he was Eminem's producer, right? He probably himself would be like, it's free advertising. Cool, have at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the same time, there are people who are the same level as him, but at other companies that are like, no, that's our shit. Give us money. Give us money. Give me money. Give me money. Like, you didn't even fucking do nothing in the first place. You literally put your name to it and put your company's money into, like, producing the CD or, like, album or whatever, album art or this, that, and the other. And
doing the art, having it printed, getting it into shops and stuff.
Yeah, and distributing it to other, sources and shit. Given enough time, the fucking artists themselves could have done that. You literally have done shit all.
Yeah, it's like there was one who used to like turn up, like you could rely on them turning up in December in town, because they get a lot of people buying like for gifts and stuff. But like they do their own albums and that. Yeah, so it's the recorded performance of the music and the license to play it to an audience.
I still stand by what I've said in the past, which is DMCA is outdated. It needs relooking at. There needs to be a sit down between companies that own shops like Tesco, etc., that distribute albums and what have you. Companies like Spotify and stuff that pay for, streaming rights or whatever. Companies like Twitch and YouTube who have creators that will use the music and the music industry, and there needs to and a lawyers present for each party, and there needs to be an agreement drawn up that basically just turns around and goes, right, fuck DMCA, we've got this new thing that basically is DMCA, but with a whole more modern look at it,
approach
and not something that's 20 fucking years old.
Yeah.
Well, not something that's 20 years old that is designed to keep fucking companies like Napster at bay. Like, Napster don't even exist anymore. No companies like that exist anymore. Why? Because people don't buy music to keep on their phone. They pay for subscription services like Spotify, like YouTube Music, or YouTube Premium in general. Like,
yeah, or Apple Music, or
like
Deezer,
people
or
will pay
Tidal,
for those
Amazon
sort
Music.
of services.
There's so many of them now.
Yeah, they are designed. So the point I'm trying to make is, it's like charging somebody some money, right, from playing a video tape from like the 90s, yeah, when everybody else is playing fucking DVDs and Blu-rays. Do you know what I mean? It's so the whole system is so outdated. It needs modernizing.
Yeah, and it's not even just the DMCA that's too old. It's the legislation it's built to work with is so old as well.
Exactly.
And until one of them changes, the other won't. And the problem is that there's not going to be enough pressure on people to change it, because the people who can put the most pressure on are the people who don't want it to change, because it's in their best. It benefits them.
Benefit them to make money off of it. I can almost guarantee you as well. You think about it, right? You think about all these things that we hear about politicians. Yeah. Oh well, this politician bought a shit ton of cryptocurrency, or this politician has bought a shit ton of stocks in X company or Y company. Yeah. Guarantee a few of them have some sort of ownership in the music industry. So when a politician would turn around and go, do you know what? Actually, DMCA is kind of outdated. We probably need to overhaul the whole system and how it works. That would be a good idea, wouldn't it? Instead, they're like, well, why would I? Because currently making me fucking money.
Yeah.
Corruption at its finest, motherfuckers. Mic drop. But yeah, let's move on to the other game stuff.
Yes, the big one.
Do you want to move on to the big one first, or do you want to cover the little thing?
Well, we'll cover the little things because
Okay.
actually they all sort of happened like today and yesterday. But yeah, you do this one, I'll do the other one, and then yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so for those who don't know, I actually loaded up the wrong fucking screen because I was getting this one open to switch it over to where is it?
Right one.
Season Emergence. There we go. So for
There we
those
go.
who don't know,
Say
earlier
that doesn't look like the right name.
yeah, earlier today we had the EA Play Live like event thing. So it's essentially EA's version of being at E3, right?
And just before you get onto the actual content, I don't get why they've bothered to call it EA Play Live. All of the previous EA plays have been live.
Yeah, it's branding as well. You think about what their like subscription thing is on like Xbox.
Oh, yeah,
it's all EA Play.
That EA Play, didn't they?
Yeah, so I think it's that.
Yeah, it must be okay. So we don't get confused between an event and a subscription. It's like trademark all over again. For sake.
But anyway, we had a EA Play Live earlier. They released a bunch of things about games that are coming from EA. You know, the FIFA games, the Madden games, sports games. They're the same every year, but this year we've got 11 versus 11 machine learning motion capture. Whatever, could care less. It's a football game. It'd be the same as the other football games. You're playing as a human that actually plays the real sport, kicking a ball around a pitch. Whatever. If you were into that thing, fine. Play them all you like. But we're not going to cover that. I'm just saying that's one of the things they announced. Another thing they announced was, obviously, in like 2 weeks, we've got the new Apex season coming, which is, we now know the name is Emergent. This is the new legend Seer that is coming. They announced his abilities, which actually are fucking really good.
Yeah, they actually look really interesting, and I'm not that into the game.
Well, I mean,
I'm not that.
They showed the trailer.
It's not that I'm not into the game. I just don't know much about it. You know, I don't know the intricacies of all the stuff.
Yeah, they showed the trailer, which showed off a couple of the things with regards to the World's Edge map updates they've got here. It also showed off this, which is the Rampage LMG, new LMG that Rampart created, which is one of the characters in the game. They also talked about a little bit about ranked arenas in the news portion, which is like latest news.
Not on this page for some reason.
Yeah. So
I'll just link to it.
You know, we've got latest news. If you want to go and have a look at it, go right ahead. But yeah, so with regards to Emergent, I am very much looking forward to it. They also announced that year 2 of the ALDS starts in September of this year, and will be for the first time they will be inviting PlayStation and Xbox players to take part and compete in Pro Apex tournament.
Yep.
And something I seen announced on Twitter was that in brackets next to the consoles being invited, it said with PC aim assist. So it's been a long running topic that PC and consoles have different aim assist values. Console has like 0.8, PC has 0.4 if you play on controller. And with obviously crossplay, that can become an issue because you get destroyed by a console player, and as somebody who plays on controller, if I am on controller and somebody else is on controller and they're on Xbox, we should have an equal fight. The way I see it.
The
Yes,
problem I've got with
PC's
this,
more powerful.
I'll let you finish that.
But
Yeah. So the problem I've got with this is with that bit in brackets is that it's got to be a toggle as well, because if it isn't, let's say you've got someone who's like who you know at with the console settings have been playing and playing like at the top of the game,
yeah,
and then suddenly you go into an ALGS game, right, and the settings have all changed. Well, not all of them, but this one in particular, right? The way that they move and aim is going to have to change.
yeah.
Because they can't take lines that they would normally have taken.
Well,
because
here's the way I look at it: is I would personally just like to see Respawn turn around and go, well, we heard you on the disparities between PC and console aim assist. We're going to nerf them down to exactly what PC is.
Yeah. So either do that or have a way for people to prepare people who are going to be doing like these tournaments and stuff.
I mean, scrims would probably do that if you get in, but then you've got to be invited by other teams to play a scrim. Or a company like E-Series who run tournaments to, top 4 get sponsored by 4 different companies to go to the ALGS final. Blah blah. Whatever. But whilst we're on the website, if you want to compete, they said something along the lines of go to Apex Legends /compete, and you can go and learn more and actually potentially take part. If I had a regular 3-man team, I'd probably potentially go for the Challenger circuit. But
good to know.
I would have to feel comfortable with that team as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll move on to the Battlefield one.
Yeah, so
I actually turned the EA Play Live off before this, so I'm glad you're taking it.
No, I didn't. After you sort of mentioned about the Apex thing, I was like, you know what? I had that on my schedule to watch anyway, so I'll give it a bit of a watch and have a look. And it came to this, and I was like, okay, cool. They're just gonna like tell us a little bit more about multiplayer or whatever. And then they came out with a game mode they're calling, not a game mode, a section they're calling Portal. And as it says there, your battlefield, your rules. It's actually pretty cool, and there were some really good examples they had. But basically, it's sort of an extension of custom games. So in Portal, you can make obviously you've got like your base sort of game modes and stuff, and then off of that you have different content like maps and character
I've seen something about knives versus defib.
Knives versus defibs was one of the ones that they came up with. So stuff from Battlefield 1942, Battlefield 3, Bad Company 2, and Battlefield 2042. There might be content from other Battlefields later, but they're the 4 that are like in Portal at launch. And it does let you do really fun things. Like one of the examples I'd seen was 4 characters from the US team in 2042 with all like their modern gear and everything, against a full team of 32 players as Germany from 1942. As quantity versus quality, they called it. So you got all the recent gear and the high tech stuff, and you've got like old reliable, but you've got a fuck ton more of them. And as Yokai said as well, you've got things you'd be able to do with aerial air combat and stuff that you wouldn't normally be able to do. You've got a mix of the older vehicles and chasing down a Russian fighter and Spitfire.
I like this thing that they give here, that you can control the max number of players for each team, as well as the weapons everyone has access to, creating as much balance or chaos as your heart desires. Why not pit 10 players armed with assault rifles against 50 players armed with knives? Go wild. That just sounds cool. That's basically zombie apocalypse. Boom, there you go.
Yeah. And what I can say actually is I saw sort of like a little snippet of what they're calling a logic editor,
Yeah.
just basically sort of laying out a bunch of rules for like things happen in the game. Do these, and you can do them to like, okay, when a player on this team spawns, give them this weapon. There's a picture of it there. When a player on this team dies, switch them to that team and then spawn them. You know, when they were spawn, so you can do like infected game modes. You like spawn and you have everyone on one team and one person on another. Yeah, so you could create Modern Warfare's infected. So you'd have like someone spawns in with a knife, and everyone else spawns in with like whatever weapons,
Mm.
or a defib and whatever weapons. And then anytime someone on the team with all the weapons dies, they switch team. And obviously, you've already got the rules for when that team spawns and stuff. There was one of them that had two teams of different US agents. One of them was from Battlefield 3 and one of them was from 2042. And it would just spawn you with a random weapon every time you spawned.
Hmm.
You know, or the EDO bots, the sort of like little robots with a repair gun on top. There was a game mode where you had like pretty much a full team of people just using that against one tank, and like
Yeah,
you
I
can
did
just
see that.
blow up a shit ton of them with one bullet. But if you get a group of them around you, they're just gonna keep weakening you until like they blow you up.
Yeah,
And
it
in that
looks
case, it's
like
just
it's gonna be some fun.
I think it will be pretty fun, and because of the way you've got the logic editor laid out and everything, and the fact that you can control what weapons people have got, what spawns in and when and stuff.
I do like
There's a lot
here
that
as
you'll
well.
be able to do with it.
They're not saying like in this section I've got open now. It's like 40 weapons. They're not saying from the free games. It's saying from the three theaters of war. Like
Yeah, because that's the way they look at it. It's not specifically like, oh, it's these days from that game. It's like that's the era. You know that
yeah,
that's where the weapons are from. It's not just like these are our weapons from this game or whatever. They're all like, because they always were with Battlefield and COD as well, obviously. Um, but it's like, okay, weapons from this era of combat, weapons from that era of combat and stuff. Theaters of war as they've called it.
Mm. All right, let's move on to the big one then, I guess.
Yeah,
Should we cover? We'll cover Jason Strider's
yeah. Cover that.
tweet
The other link
first.
was in there, just sort of when I go back if I want to like scroll through it and stuff.
Yeah.
For the historical notes, but this one, yeah.
Yeah,
So
we have got the full document here for anybody.
we've
Oh,
done
I
this once
closed that.
before. What was the last one we talked about?
I can't.
I can't remember. But there's another lawsuit. This one is the state of California against Activision Blizzard, and it is about equal treatment for race and gender and other identifying traits. Not identifying traits.
Essentially, a bunch of
characteristics.
a bunch of arseholes have been arseholes.
Yeah.
Long story short.
But that is a long story, very short.
Do we want to cover how we ended up actually including this, because it wasn't included initially when we started up the podcast?
It was when we started. It wasn't about 10 minutes before we started.
Well, okay.
Because like I'd only just been made aware of it by finding it like on like it was going on Twitter. So then I had to look into it, and there's some dodgy stuff going on in there.
Well, more specifically, you turned around and said, "Have you heard about Blizzard, Activision? Yeah. Do we want to cover that?" And I went, "Yes." More specifically because we want to make our stance clear on it. Like, the way I always will look at it, and I've said this in the past when we've been talking about, racism and shit, is we are all human, right? So we all deserve to be treated with a degree of decency and a degree of how we want to be treated. um, to the point where stuff like this that goes on in a huge company within the gaming industry. Let's face it, right?
And as sad as it is, it's not exactly surprising either. Like it's
No,
happened in a lot of companies in this industry for a while, and it needs to stop.
and I think it also comes partly down to, and this is by no means an excuse, but it comes partly, I think, down to the whole mentality that society seems to have that gaming is just for bloat. It is not. Like, it is for anybody who wants to pick up a controller or a keyboard and mouse and play a fucking game. Right? If a woman decides to get into the gaming industry, they enjoy a particular game so much when they're growing up, they want to start making games so the new generation of female gamer can enjoy it. Fucking so what? Like, why should they have to conform to some sort of misogynistic fucking hierarchy within the industry? They should. We are human, as I said. We should be treated the same. It's the same with like I heard I think it was Anubis mention something with regards to applying for a job. It might have been on Twitter actually a few weeks back. He applies for a job, he gets the job, but he doesn't know whether he's got it. Sometimes he doesn't know whether he's got it on his own merit because he's smart, he's got the right qualifications, etc., etc. Or it is a what they call a diversity hire, in a sense of there was somebody who was white, Asian, mixed race, that was more qualified and more experienced than he is, but because they want to appear to be more diverse, they hire him instead. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. He says he doesn't want to feel that I'm pretty sure it was Anubis. I don't know who it was, but for some reason Anubis's head popped into my head as soon as, like, name even just popped into my head as soon as I started thinking about this particular thing. The same thing with like women in some industries, right? They could have the same qualifications as a bloke. Bloke won't get hired, even though he's got more experience, because the woman is a more diverse option for the company.
Or in some cases where they're not really focusing on diversity at all, the opposite.
Yeah, exactly. The woman could have all the qualifications that are needed, like to the point where they're overqualified for the job, and they could have like 10 years experience in the field, and they will hire somebody who has literally one qualification for the job needed, and has zero experience, all because they're a bloke. And
if that's the only, obviously,
I was going to say, the sooner we get rid of that whole thing, the better.
Like, it should just be, oh, you're qualified for the job. It's the job. The only problem you've got with that is that then you're just sort of shifting the issue, and you'll have the same gaps because you'll look at people and go, okay, well, this person has 10 years in the industry, this person only has 3, right?
Mm.
But that person 10 years ago got into the industry because, they got into whatever the entry point is, or through education or training or whatever.
But that's where for me, that's where interviewing becomes like the key. Don't go into the interview as a fucking CEO or whoever's doing the interview, the manager, whatever, and go, okay, I am going into this interview. I want to hire a black woman because that's the most diverse category I can hire. No, go into it and go, like, okay, these guys all have qualifications. This person has 3 years experience. This person has 10. Okay, let me ask questions and see how articulated they are in their responses. Who gives a better response? Like... Who better vibes? Like, who do you most see yourself getting on with and being able to work with? You know what I mean? Don't just go in and go, all right, this is what I'm fucking looking for. Judge a book by its cover, basically. Do you know what I mean? Actually get to know the
Yeah.
person in, like, 10-minute interview is not enough. Half an hour, cutting it close. 40 minutes, I would say, in some sense, in an industry like what we're covering here, gaming, you can get in, you can talk about, games that have shaped their outlook on the industry, that the games that they've grown up with, etc., etc. You can be there you can just have a conversation. Like, you don't need to actually interview them. If there's something that,
Yeah.
what
And
are
I
their
think
what are their design philosophies?
the
What
best
what do they think they
interviews,
can believe they can
or the
bring to
best
the table?
interviewers, rather, in my outlook, the best interviewers make it feel like a conversation while getting all of the information they need out of you.
Yeah, exactly.
They're not just like, oh, right, okay, asking you a question about this, and then you reply with an answer, and it's like, no. No, if you're in a conversation, you sort of feel more comfortable. You're not going to be stressed about anything. You're going to give them the information they need.
Yeah.
What is there not to
But
benefit
here's the
you?
thing as well: the more comfortable you are in an interview situation, right, the more honest your answers are going to be.
Yeah.
Right. And so if there's an honest answer that comes out that you don't like as an interviewer, it doesn't fit with your company or whatever. Yeah. Guess what, mate? You just didn't cut it. You didn't get the job. Fine. Bye.
Yeah, because it's better to have someone who, is comfortable with, not is comfortable with, is a better fit for the company. If they're like about the same on other regards, like the qualifications
Yeah.
and
And
everything else.
even
It's
then
just
though,
down
if you've
to
got
that
somebody who's
person
got
fits
no
the company better. Yeah.
here's the thing, if you've got somebody who's got no experience and next to no qualifications, but they come into the interview and give a fucking smacking interview to where you, as the interviewer, could turn around to them and go, all right, you haven't necessarily got all the qualifications we want you to have, but we'll put you in for those if, you take some sort of pay cut, or, you come on as an apprentice or whatever fucking other systems in place in other countries, because I know apprenticeships are basically the UK.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, long story short,
Not
you do need to take a chance on some people if in the
intense
interview
stuff in other
they
countries.
vibe with you in the company, right? But the point I'm trying to make is, like, don't make it disproportionate. Don't make it, oh, right, well, all these blokes are here because, as it says here, frat boy culture. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
And
Don't
it's
don't go into like, if you go into the office, because I'm sure, if I remember correctly, somewhere in here, I remember reading. They've been
like
they've
point
been
37
reported.
really slams in your face for.
Yeah, they've been reported before, and they've done fuck all about it.
Yeah.
Basically, but as soon as something like this comes to your attention as a CEO or a management position, you need to do something fucking about it. Whether the fucking dude is your fucking brother, you know what I mean? Like, shit needs to be done. What was this? Rule 37 you're on about, yeah? Similarly,
Yeah.
female some
Well,
employees.
all of them to some degree, but I mean, look at it. Like, it's, yes, fair enough. If they're working at like Activision Blizzard or whatever, they were probably brought in by games like COD. That doesn't
Yeah,
mean that like you just shift all the work onto someone who's being underpaid enough as it is, and then going off and playing COD. No, you're there to do your work. Do your fucking work.
exactly. There's not only that as well, because you think about it, right? These developers that are in this environment that are, delegating responsibilities, they could be the most talented developers in the fucking world,
It
but they're
doesn't
a
matter if
piece
they're
of
not doing it.
but yeah, but they're a piece of shit person.
Yeah.
Like you said, it doesn't matter if they're not doing it. But we'll give them benefit of the doubt and saying they are doing something sometimes, right? 'Cause it doesn't say it's always delegating
Yeah.
responsibilities. But at the same time, they're not only doing that, but they are sitting there getting paid for playing Call of Duty, right? When somebody else who is more hungry for that position that they are in somebody who wants to get into the industry could have that job and be doing a better job and be a better person, not treating the women like a piece of shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, here's one thing I wanted to include in our little intro at the beginning, right? I am in talks right now because myself, now that, you know, COVID vaccines are being rolled out and we're coming out of, you know, lockdowns and all this, that, and the other. And we've
It's a
basically,
terrible idea, but
in the
yeah.
UK, we've just had the, okay, now you don't need to wear masks type thing. Even though certain councils and
I still
local
do
area,
anyway.
yeah, I wear mine too. But mine's more so that Nottingham Council have said, okay, the government have said, yeah, we don't need to wear them, but we're asking you, please wear them.
Yeah. Pretty much all the signs have gone from like
I
essential.
am needing to get into work,
Yeah.
right? So obviously I've been talking with advisors, work coaches, etc., government officials that pay me benefit for not being out of work, and saying to them, look, this is what I want to do. And one of the things I've mentioned on there is I want to go and do a course to get into the gaming in some varying degree. Right? So let's put it into perspective now. One of these motherfuckers is treating a woman like shit. Kick the fuckers out. I'm hungry. I want to fucking do this shit. Get me in. You have a better fucking product at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, not only that, you get, let's say there's 100 blokes that are doing this in Activision Blizzard, and you get 100 more versions of me that are hungry. Train them up how the fuck you like. They can do the best possible job for your company because you are the ones that molded them.
Yeah.
And you've got rid of the lazy pieces of shit that were just delegating responsibilities to others.
Yep. Well, that's quite a large undertaking, and pretty much none of the companies at this scale are prepared to do that.
Yes, I know, and that's what I'm
But
saying.
they're
But
gonna have to.
the point
They're gonna
I'm
have to do
saying, the point
something.
I'm trying to get at
There's
though
that
is,
obligation now.
the point I'm trying to get at is the fact that they are taking a spot in the industry that could be taken up by somebody who's actually going to do the work, that's actually hungry to do the work, that wants to prove themselves, etc. Do you know what I mean? Get these pieces of shit out, put them on fucking benefit, and then let them see how it feels to be treated like a second-class citizen, a piece of meat. Let them go and work at fucking a fast food restaurant like I did and get treated, despite the fact that I'm actually quite smart and well articulated when I know what I'm trying to get across, right? Sometimes I can be like, shit, right. That's me thinking in my head, how am I going to say this in a way that will make people understand it how I mean it? So it doesn't just come off as me going, oh, this is the case. So like with the guests thing, right? I said this is gonna sound like I'm being entitled because it will to people who don't know me. But at the same time, I then turned around and went, look, I want people to come on and be given a platform. No matter how big or small this platform is. You know what I mean? So, and that is partly because of me being dyslexic. Me going, it's because my brain is moving 1,000 miles a minute. My mouth can't move that fast. The same thing with my hands. When I'm writing something, I end up writing half a sentence in front of myself half the time because my hands can't move fast enough for my brain.
Yeah.
To give anybody who doubts that an outlet, if you will. I don't know if that's actually the right word. You might have to correct me on that one, Kit. But another example. There you go. An example of somebody who was dyslexic. Albert fucking Einstein. The smartest person in like the 1940s. If Stephen Hawking didn't exist, I'd probably say he's the smartest person in history. But Stephen Hawking's a fucking certified genius.
Yeah. Very.
So, you know, when people, that's why when people turn around and say, "Oh, like dyslexic or people who have got some sort of mental disability are fucking idiots," I'm like, are you dumb? Half the time they're smarter than you. They just can't get it down. The same here. Like the women in this workplace culture could end up being better at the job than the males, but they're not getting the opportunity because of the frat
Yeah,
boy
they're not being given the
fucking
chance.
culture. They're not given the chance. They're not given the spotlight. Get rid of the fucking like key point right here. Look, male employees proudly come into work hungover. I'm sorry, you walk into a workplace hungover, get the
Oh,
fuck
yeah, you're
out,
out.
never come back.
Yeah.
Piss off. If you don't respect the workplace enough to come in sober and ready for work, and you're gonna come in and fucking just, drink alcohol, play games, and give your responsibilities to others, then I'll give the promotion that you have got to those other people because they're doing your fucking work anyway. Get the fuck out of here. Piss off. That would be me. Like, I am blunt as a fucking
Older.
sledgehammer, basically.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know. You can make a sledgehammer pretty sharp.
true. But then it becomes an axe.
Yeah.
Right. Let's move on to Destiny things because I'm if we keep going on about this, I'm just gonna get even more pissed off.
All right. Well, we've got some Destiny things, and by some Destiny things, I mean, well, we've got this to listen to. If you haven't already listened to it, this is you haven't. Okay. Well, this was played during one of the missions. It was like 3 or what time was this? The 17th. This was put up on Twitter, and it was in game a little bit before that.
Mithrax, what's wrong? What do you see?
An infestation.
So 2
I have found the
ish
facts
to
of the
3
source
weeks
of the
around
endless
there.
night. Quria, the dreaming
I remember
mind.
hearing this in the mission.
Its code has been
Yeah.
corrupted
mission.
by taken magic.
I'm kind of
Savathun.
talking over it, sorry.
We've been played.
Quria has been commanding the other Vex, poisoning their minds, directing them at Savathun's will. The endless night is of Savathun's design. Can you
Anybody
feel
who
that?
doesn't know Quria, by the
The
way,
threads of night unraveling as if
go
a
and,
veil is being
read
lifted.
Oh,
the
it's
law
looping.
books. Yeah. Go and read the lore books from Taken King. Or, better yet, go and check out Mylan Games and My Name is Bice videos on those topics because they articulate it very fucking well. They actually explain where Quria came from. So yeah, it was really interesting, to be honest.
And just about some time for this week at Bungie, we have last week's this week at Bungie. So I'll just put
Yeah.
last week at Bungie. Last week at Bungie.
I am gonna quickly
rituals
just
and rep. Check and see if we've got this week as well.
yeah.
I normally
20 seconds?
check.
Yep, we do.
I was going to say I
Okay.
normally check in one of the Discords. If they're up there, they get the links nice and quick.
I've already got the Bungie website
already got
open
it
though,
up.
so I might as well just.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Anyway, what did we miss in last week's 12?
last week,
Rep
we should-
changes.
yeah, changes to reputations. Long story short, Vanguard is going the same way as Crucible and Gambit did at the beginning of this season, and they're doing it next season. They're also introducing Trials rank in season 15, which will be talked about more in a future SWAB.
Yeah.
They're rebalancing ranking systems so they all feel more similar in progression time. So you're not playing 5,000 games of Gambit to get to 15,000
Yeah.
reputation. Instead, you're playing and playing 100 games of Crucible. You will be playing 100 of each or whatever. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I
Which
think
is nice.
I think that's better because it
More
increases
uniform makes
the
for
thing.
a sort of
Yeah,
makes it easy to
and
expect how your game time is going to reflect in
Yeah.
your ranks and stuff.
Vanguard rank, they are obviously they're saying what you'll earn Vanguard reputation for, which is these activities here, which actually does make me think that Battlegrounds might become a stable playlist. They may get rid of the whole all of the Battlegrounds from the previous season, from Season of the Chosen at the end of the year, but I think maybe they might bring something else in with Witch Queen that is Battlegrounds. And basically, I'm thinking, don't quote me on this, because in fact, yeah, quote me on this, because if I end up being right,
Go on. What
but
are you gonna say?
I think
Here we go.
potentially we could end up with Battlegrounds from Season of the Chosen being like an introduction into the whole concept of it, and then it'd be an actual playlist like a mini strike, which is essentially what they are within Witch Queen, because it seems to me this season, the past few seasons, that we're sort of gathering up our forces, right, go into all-out war with the Witch Queen. So it would make sense to have these battlegrounds be on different locations of where we are defending Sol, the Sol system, from the Witch Queen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Although that would probably end up being a different activity by that point. You know, I mean, it probably retain some like core similarities.
yeah, that's what I'm
but
saying. I
obviously
think
different
maybe
people,
they
basically
use
different interaction with
maybe
the enemies and the way they're structured and everything.
because otherwise, what other reason have you got to run Battleground other than its reputation?
But if you run them for rep, you might as well run strikes.
Exactly. So if you're gonna run them, you're probably running them just for potential rolls at the weapons, right? Well, guess what? Get them from Umbrals.
Yeah, yeah.
So it makes me believe that they're trying to add a third. Because strikes are easy as fuck, but battlegrounds to me are a little easier. And they do have like mini raid encounter things in a sense of here, go here, defend this. You know what I mean? But then you've got changes to Conqueror and the gilding.
Yeah, that's
Right,
an
yeah.
interesting change. I'm kind of for it.
From
They're
what I
changing how the
heard-
catch-up works.
Yeah, from what I heard, people are gonna hate it, and it could be that those people misread it. But
Well, if the way I've interpreted it is right, I'm all for it. The only downside is that if you had people running Grandmasters for like loot stuff at the end of the season, you know, when you had like all of them, you know, you wouldn't be able to do that if you've got a gilded title, because you wouldn't be able to start because you wouldn't have that node.
like I get it in the sense of what they said here, not the perceived easiest strike, right? But then why not just split them into two different playlists and give the one playlist increased loot?
That's the point. They probably should have done that instead of this. Although this might be a temporary stopgap measure while they're doing that. Who knows? That is a good, a slightly better idea than this approach.
But yeah, I don't know, dude. Like, and you've got the Bungie Foundation stuff. You know, they did rewards if you hit a certain milestone. One of them was getting a lore reading by see no name, where was it? Nicole Olsen.
Yep.
Then you've got Prime rewards. I've already picked mine up, but I can't grab my fucking Merciless because I have space. Never have any space.
Oh, you need some space.
Dude, I need to go. I need to do a fucking vault cleaning stream. Swear to God.
Yeah.
Or let me go. I've still got my dim open from when I was playing GMs
that'll be it.
earlier.
That'll be your
$4.95.
triumphant return to Destiny vault cleaning.
I know. I was playing fucking GMs the other day. I was playing GMs yesterday with
Yeah.
Mai,
Hmm.
Mai and Sabe, and then I was doing a GM. I did like 3 GM runs with Civics earlier today, as well before we came on.
Yeah. You'll clean up your vault and then you'll spend consecutive weeks on end filling it back up again.
I mean, that might be something. If I get bored of, we've got 2 weeks until the new season of Apex, right? So I'll play that for like the 2 weeks. There's a difference because that new season comes out, and then 2 weeks later you got the new season of Destiny. So if I get bored in those 2 weeks before the new season of Destiny, that'll be the stream that you get from me. All right, I'm gonna clean out my vault before the new season because I have 5 spaces left in my vault. My
Is that-
postmaster.
Whoa. How the
Yeah.
hell are you on 495?
My postmaster is currently full on my warlock.
Oh no.
I mean, a bunch of them are blues, but
What have you got in there?
a lot.
What are you keeping hold of that you're not? Oh no.
I'm not. Mate, to be honest, I could probably just turn around and go, I'll delete my entire vault. But half the time, I delete something like, oh, I'm not gonna use that. I don't like that
And
weapon.
then you go searching
And
for
then
it
it's
later.
meta because somebody says to me, "Oh,
Yeah.
have you got this weapon?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm sure I have." And then
You're
I go
not
and
gonna go,
look
"Ah,
for it, and I
useless."
don't fucking have it because I deleted it because I didn't like it. Fusion
Oh,
rifles. Fusion rifles come to mind. The fucking seasonal weapon this season. What was it? Fucking null exposure, null composure, null
Yeah,
composure. Here, do you want to go and do a bunch of quests in all the playlist activities to get a new what's it called? A new ornament for this? Yeah, use a fusion rifle. Well, guess what? The fusion rifle we're giving you ain't actually that great. So yeah, good luck. Alright, I want to use another fusion rifle. Shit, I've got none because I don't use fusion rifles.
Yeah.
I end up using Jotun. I have
So
not
what's the
yokai.
matter?
But yeah, we've got the art and movie of the week. We never actually cover those at all. And then obviously they're on about shutting down they're shutting down the TWAB here, which was last week at Bungie.
Yep.
Let's go on to this week at Bungie.
This one's a bit shorter,
Is it? Okay.
unfortunately.
Go on. What are we mainly looking at? Because
I only had a quick glance through to see how long it was.
alright.
There's
Bungie
very
store
few, like,
renovations. I'm not sure how I feel about this, to be honest.
I haven't
Was it-
seen the new store
I haven't seen
but
the
it was-
new
it was
store,
down
but
to
I
maintenance
heard that, like, let's say
for an hour.
so let's say you've got the money to buy the Volta Glass jacket, yeah, and I didn't,
Yeah,
and I've done Volta Glass week 1, and you didn't.
yeah.
I can't give you my code so you can buy the jacket.
No.
That's what I've heard about the new Bungie store shit. Whether that's true, I have no idea. But
I mean, I can kind of see that making sense because it's supposed to be a reward for you doing something. Because otherwise, you'd have people going and like running like alt accounts through the raids just so they've got a code they can sell or some stupid shit like that.
I mean, yeah, true.
You know, because if you can do it, there are people that will do it. I mean, you
Hey,
saw
next
people
week-
selling the free emblem.
Next week's Nightfalls at least will have double rewards, but it will also
Yeah, that's
be
nice.
last season's event,
Yeah.
a death weapon. So
Yeah.
well done, Bungie. I did see somebody.
Extra chances to get them in case you missed the entirety of last season.
Yeah. I mean, I did see somebody ask when because they messed it up one week, the rotation.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be the sniper, and it ended up being the fusion again. I think it was
I
last
think
week.
so. But they've got the
Supposedly
some
an
of the
arc
rumours for
aggressive
next
rocket
season.
launcher with explosive light. Okay, that
Yeah.
would be fun.
That's one of the rumors. There are plenty of rumors and stuff. Um, but I kind of like try to avoid those because there's not always a lot behind them.
Destiny 2 Deepstone by GarageBand. Okay.
I've got that on my phone now. I can't use it
That's
for
good.
anything because I don't play instruments. But ooh, that's nice art.
Yeah, and then they've got statement. That is in response to what's going on with Activision Blizzard.
Yeah.
We know it.
I mean, it's good that they've got a statement and they're like committing to these things,
Yeah.
but
There's
should
certain
be doing it
there
anyway.
there are certain companies like Bungie and Respawn, where basically everything that comes out from like developers there are that they are great companies to work for, and this sort of thing that's going off with Activision Blizzard right now doesn't exist. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I wonder if it's because of the age of the company. Because surely they're not. I don't know.
I think it's
Respawn's
just the
gotta
fact.
be-
I think it's just the size of the company.
Yeah.
Activision can't keep an eye on, you know, like it's not an excuse. Let's get that out of
No,
fucking.
no.
But they can't keep an eye on like
Because you've got like
7
layers on layers on layers. So
different
like
fucking studios.
for
You know what I mean?
that's safe for like for something to, for some action to be taken, like someone to get fired or get a, even if they just get a slap on the wrist, should get a lot more than that. But even if it's something as light as a slap on the wrist, it's got to go through like 3 or 4 or 5 layers of I'll tell my boss and then he'll tell his boss and so on before anything actually gets done. Whereas in these, obviously you've got fewer people,
And
fewer
even
layers,
then, it could end up with Chinese whispers in a sense of
and yeah,
less and less gets added to it. So what starts off with, oh, this male employee touched this female employee's arse and sexually assaulted her and this, that, and the other. He passes it up to his boss. Oh well, he just wolf whistled at her. And then he passes it up to his boss. Oh, he just made an observation of women in general like look sexy or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like it would, as it's getting passed up, I can just see it getting less and less serious. And so when the person who's got the power at the top to turn around and go, yeah, get that fucker out of here, actually gets the information, they're like,
yeah, they
well,
don't
that's
have
not even
right information to do
yeah,
anything with it.
not,
Yeah,
that's not even that bad. Like, proceed. I ain't got time to be dealing with your childish fucking games. Fuck off. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And again, it's not an excuse. The way I look at it as well is like, look at EA, right, with BioWare. BioWare did Anthem. Anthem, early game, was fun as shit. Going through the story, mostly fun as shit. You get to the end game, there wasn't any end game, right? And then when they added an end game, it was fucking shit. And then they turn around and go, okay, we hear the community, we need to make it better. And we're going to make it better. And then after a while, EA's just gone, you're not making it better. You know what? Don't even bother. We're not doing Anthem 2.0. Fuck off. Now, if they'd have just kept an eye on BioWare from day one and pushed the game back or whatever fucking needed to be done to actually have everything that needed to have from launch, Anthem would be a really good game. But they're not only keeping an eye on BioWare working on Anthem, they're keeping an eye on them working on Dragon Age and Mass Effect, and you know, they're keeping an eye on DICE playing making fucking Star Wars Battlefront 2 when it was being, you know, made, or the new Battlefield, whatever that might be at the time. And all these other companies, like you said, it just becomes a game of, oh, it's got to go higher and then higher and then higher and then higher, and then it's the guy at the top of like EA. It's like, all right, well, no. Like, in the case of Activision, it's like going higher and higher and higher. And like I said, I can see the story getting less and less serious to the point where the guy at the top that's actually got the power to say, yeah, get the fuck out of here, goes, yeah, no, there's nothing wrong with that. What are you bringing that to my attention for? I don't need to know that Jimmy in fucking marketing went to see his mother at the weekend. Type thing. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, but that's. I think that's what it is. It's the size of the company. They're too big. They've got all these subsidiaries. Bungie did the right thing about leaving. Yes, Bungie is expanding themselves, but they aren't. You know, even the new IP that they're working on, which Chris, is it Chris Daniels? Yeah, Chris Daniels. Sarah Daniels' husband, anyway, is the creative director of Redacted or whatever it is, says on his
Oh
Twitter.
right, yeah.
Yeah. Even that is Bungie. It's not like some sister company or a new company that Bungie is overseeing. Do you know what I mean? It is Bungie. So those who are at the top of Bungie have control over the whole thing. It's not like Codemasters recently joined fucking EA. Like, it's not Codemasters.
Joined.
Yeah, acquired by EA. It's not like Respawn, for instance. Not Respawn, who are making shit for Apex, and then also trying to keep the servers going for like Titanfall and shit. And we covered, you know, save Titanfall hack a few weeks back. And then you got to think of like Vince. I think it's Vince Zambella, who was one of the founders of Respawn. It might be the other guy that
I
was.
don't know. I'm so bad with names.
But anyway, he's now like his title is confusing. He was in Respawn and DICE's like EA Spotlight a couple weeks back. It's basically so part of the EA Play Live. They did a couple of spotlights on certain aspects to get you hyped for watching that particular company announce what they're announcing at EA Play Live. And they had DICE.
I didn't even know they'd done that.
Yeah, they had DICE and EA on at the same time. DICE and Respawn on at the same time, and it was like the future of EA's FPSs. Yeah. Obviously, they were talking about what's coming in Season 10, and DICE were talking about 2042. Long story short, whoever, I think it's Vince Zambella. His title is so confusing. It says something about Respawn, and then it goes Group COO or something like that. So like he is in charge of the FPS genre at EA, essentially. That's what it read like anyway. Do you know what I mean? Huh. And it's confusing as fuck because he's talking about how he's been talking to the developers on Battlefield, and it's like, title says Respawn, mate. Surely you should answer to EA, and EA and DICE is like, by all means, you developers, you know, if you find something that works, talk to DICE and help them make a better game. That's great, you know. EA is going to want you to do that, but at the same time, your title is a little confusing.
Unless they've been doing something like when Bungie was with Activision, they had Vicarious Visions doing some of the content.
Maybe.
But it was still Bungie's game, obviously. Well, Activision, whatever.
But I'm getting tired. So, I think we wrap this up, to be honest.
Time. Yeah. Well, I'll be honest, I've run out of tabs, so
I'm just gonna refresh the live list that they've got. Let's see who is
who have we got to
live.
Go visit?
One thing I will say about The Flawless, I hope he does get that September.
Yeah.
I was in. He popped into my Kef stream when I was I was playing with him yesterday, and I said like I think Mai was on about something to do with partner push stuff, and I turned around and says I personally don't like the whole partner push mentality. I think you should just let it sort of happen naturally. Do you know what I mean? If it happens, it happens. Yeah. But for me, I said like I'm not bothered about it. Excuse me, personally.
Yeah.
Um,
It's like because the thing is that if you do one of those partner push things and people come in to get you two partner and then you suddenly drop back off again,
yeah.
you know, the people who came in to like, you know, and had all their mates come in and watch and stuff, if they just disappear, then it's like
Well,
great,
this is the thing.
you've
It's
got the
not.
check mark, but you're not there.
Yeah. The
Whereas at
thing.
least if you
This is
sort
the
of
thing
grow
as
to
well. You're
that
not
point, you can
only.
keep at that point on and keep going up.
Yeah, and the way I look at it as well is not only that, but you'll see partners that are average, like have like 20 viewers, right? Where they have dropped off. Yeah, whether they switched game or whatever, but or they just dropped off in general, like you said. And then there'll be people who don't know who they are, don't know where they got partnered, don't know their story on Twitch, right? And they'll come in and go, "How comes your partners? You've only got 20 viewers." Like, you know what I mean? And it's not
Yeah.
fair on them as a creator to have to deal with that kind of, I don't want to say stress, but annoyance of random people. Like, you're gonna get trolls, yeah, but the random people coming in and go, "Oh, why are you partnering? You average 20 viewers. So and so over here averages is getting 30 viewers and they're not partnered." Blah, blah. Do you know what I mean? Because there's certain people mindset judge people based on numbers. It goes back to what I said at the beginning of the podcast. Fuck numbers. Who gives a shit?
Well, I don't know.
I
I
would much
don't,
rather.
because if I did, I wouldn't have like let my stream slip by the wayside.
Well, this is the thing. I would much rather have. Let's say, for argument's sake, let me go. Let me go to the top of my list. All right. Glad right now has 2K viewers. All right. Let's say he raided my channel. I would much rather have those 2K people just sat there chatting, asking me questions, asking me what I want to do with my platform, and all this, that, and the
Yeah,
other. Yeah.
maybe not all
And
of them,
chatting
because
and
that is a lot
chatting.
of people to
I
try and
mean,
like
yeah, true,
chat
true,
just for.
exactly what you're
But
saying, true. But my point
but
still stands.
you
I would
know,
rather
a
have
decent
people
number.
in there asking questions and talking to me
Yeah,
than it come up 2,000 times that people have followed me. I could care less. My number of followers went from 293 to 2,293. I'd be like, oh, cool. I enjoy. Thank you for that, but cool. Whereas if that stayed at that, but I've got fucking 20, 30, 40 people in my chat going, "Oh, what do you want to do? Like, why did you start streaming? This, that, and the other," like, asking me all these different little questions because they want to get to know me, and then eventually they decide to follow me to set that bookmark, as you said earlier today on the podcast. Oh, I've got this bookmark now. I've liked this person's content enough to follow. I've got the bookmark to go and watch them again. Let me go back. Do you know what I mean? Like, fine.
yeah,
To me, that's better.
and like 80%, if not more, of my follower list is people that I've met through raids. Others is like people who like have been given a shout out, or like have been sort of in while I'm streaming with someone, or while someone's streaming. Like, I don't know, Frankie or Instant Cakes and stuff. No, there's like weren't necessarily raided, but were mentioned in the stream or were part
Yeah.
of the stream that I was
Kind
watching.
of
They're
like
like, oh, I'll
kind of
go
like
and watch them as
today.
well.
Kind of like today. I was playing with Mai on Apex.
Yeah,
Mike F. And Pash popped in to my
yeah,
chat, asked me if we had a spot. We did. I asked. He jumped in. He jumped in the clan Discord so we could, because me and Mai were already in his Discord.
yeah,
So obviously it's easier with me having command in my chat for the clan Discord to just get him to come over to,
yeah,
rather than me post a link to this Discord that we're in now with the podcast for Mai to join, because Pash is already in here, or Mai to post a link for his Discord for Pash to join. It's easier for me to just put the command in clan Discord. Pash joins the clan Discord. Me and Mai are already in there, and Pash also has access to other people that play Apex within our clan and our clan's community. People that are connected to us, like Lee, for instance, as well as other people that play Destiny as well, because he did come back to Destiny. He's been taking breaks here and there because he's got burnt out. But yeah, like when I mentioned that Mai streamed, he went, "What's the stream?" and I went basically his name but with an underscore in the middle, and he went and followed him. Same thing with what you were just saying, like regards to, you know, they weren't raided, but it was mentioned, and then Mai ended up raiding me like 2 hours later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me refresh this one more time, but I think I know where we're going.
Okay. Yeah, got any hints? Or are you just gonna like keep the dark?
We
And then...
we are going to go and see Ramrod,
Oh, okay.
who is somebody I met through Lee. He's a member of Lee's clan, I believe. I'm not 100% certain.
Interesting.
Lee will probably correct me on it, but when the 5-point redemption in Lee's chat is it's Rodney's fault. This is who it's on about.
Ah, cool. Okay.
So yeah, we're gonna go and see
I might finally be able to learn one of the
Rodney?
in jokes.
who is currently playing some
for an
Warframe.
hour,
I'm gonna get
you
back
could
into
get,
Warframe
like,
myself.
half off the prices
And
by
crossplay
just playing the game.
and cross
what I'm
save
looking
are
at
coming
is
to Warframe.
This,
So for
Oh,
anybody who
yes.
plays
Gara
on
Prime
console,
gives
like
me
me,
390
you can
platinum.
finally move your shit.
Oh yeah, Gara
Or
Prime's
just
pretty
stay
good.
playing on console
How
if
much
you
does
don't
it
play on
cost?
PC. Because I've got both.
So for
and
yeah.
the
play
weapons
with
and stuff,
your
it
friends who
only
play on
costs,
PC.
Okay,
It
to
has
get
been
Gara Prime,
way too long coming.
it's $150.
Yeah. So
yeah, the first
yeah, exactly.
first one.
Yeah,
is,
okay.
like,
They
the
haven't
best
announced
deal
it. I think
by
it
far.
probably end up coming with New War.
I mean,
But the
if
thing
I had
is-
to spare $150,
Not
how
100%
do I just buy
like a
platinum?
date given. But when
If
it's
you
coming,
go
they
to
just
the
said
store and just
we're
buy
working
platinum.
on it.
But the thing is,
So
Oh,
for
yeah,
me,
I'd get
cross
that
saves,
blind
I'll be able to
buy.
move my shit from Xbox over to PC. I
I'd
can
have to
play.
spend $50.
Yeah.
to
But then
get
I've got mates who I used
All
to
of it,
play on
yeah.
Xbox with. My
But,
friends,
if I was
like, if you
Monkey
wait
and
every
James,
day,
they're
he
game
will
attack, by
give
the way.
you eventually
Yeah,
a platinum
and
discount.
they would still be able to play
And,
with me, even though I'll be playing
you
on
can
PC because of crossplay.
get
So
it
yeah,
discounted
we'll
as
go
much
over
as
and
it will
we'll
give
go and
you,
see
and then you get the
Ramrod,
same
the
amount of
wizard.
platinum.
Can I not just
He
get
had
them
like
from
his
where
name
I
was
am?
Tenshi, and then
I'll
his
invite
on
you.
Twitter
I
was
totally
like
forgot about
Ramrod. He's like all
If I was
confused,
gonna
and then
spend
me and Lee
$50,
basically
I'd probably
convinced
just
him
go all out
if
and
you
spend
want to
$100.
Make
make
everything
a
the
thing
same. Yeah.
of Twitch, you need to make everything the same, and he ended up changing
Make it so that
so-
someone can find you very easily from one to the next.
Exactly. So yeah, thank you very much everybody for coming on out. And anybody who's listening on the,
Oh, I see the refer a friend.
platforms.
Oh, I pretty much already
Uh,
have all that stuff.
I am gonna say this as well with regards to the podcast platforms kit.
Go on.
Down to the fact that we are now doing bi-weekly. If,
Yeah.
excuse me, if you want to make it so that you're not in a rush to get the audio version up, then we'll
Are you
just
taking
do
us
it
back
sort of
to-
on a like a weekly thing. So if like we
Yeah, I'm
record
trying to
it
see
So
how
this
this
live
week,
and
one
then a
guy
week
so it
later.
goes.
show-
So if you
like, you
want
can
to,
go
at the
to
latest, make it go live
sort of-
next Thursday, it's up to you. Just then you've not stress on you whilst you're
Oh,
also
why
stressing
would
about
I
work
back?
and shit.
I guess
you know
I
what mean?
shouldn't use my mods right now. since
I'll probably get
shit,
the,
right?
like I'll probably be able to get it done at the weekend.
Should I take the mods I have on all
Um,
the stuff right
as-
now?
as
Like
well,
now we're
more-
doing bi-weekly. I think we're gonna
Yeah,
have more
I'll do it
time.
with
We
that
can
more
space,
time to play with, yeah.
off afterwards.
space it out, sort of thing. So I can do the same thing with
Oh, we can
the
do.
YouTube VOD as well. And then
Yeah, so I'll give you, and you can upgrade the mods too.
At
so
the
they
end of
do
the day-
more,
I think
like,
it'll
effects too.
it'll be marked with today's date anyway, because like the
Yeah.
date to
that
record.
I'll give you.
So it'll
Like,
probably
I'm
be
gonna
just a
give you
big
one
case of
where you get a little.
if I get
bunch
it done
of
at the
health,
weekend, I'll put it at the weekend.
shield.
If not, then it'll be like late Tuesday.
Then I.
You know, if there's
But
like
what
a
I'm,
lot of
what I'm
yeah, I love
basically
any
what I'm
of those.
basically
like,
saying though,
monitor and stuff.
what I'm basically saying though is
If I
then
can,
we can
I
turn around and
would
say,
trade.
you know,
I'll
where
see if I can trade you the bow.
Lee was asking
going
you in
into
the
the
clan
back or just
Discord,
straight
oh,
in?
where's the
The back.
episode? Like as a joke.
Yeah.
Well, he wasn't
I
joking.
Like,
because he
wasn't
actually
joking.
wanted to
One,
listen
I
to
have.
them, but he
It wasn't
wasn't.
the episodes,
He's
but they
making
weren't
out
there,
like
yeah.
he was being an ass, saying,
Yeah,
I want him,
yeah,
I
yeah.
want him, give him. Like,
Yeah.
but
Here, Tenno.
he wasn't.
I'm turning everyone's unearned
Um,
treasures into endo. Interested?
I think if we can turn around and say, look, it will be up by next Thursday,
You
at
must
some
have a
point,
mastery rank 2 or
rather
higher
than
in
just
order to
going,
trade.
okay, it will definitely be up on.
Oh yeah,
you
yeah.
me?
So a week at the latest.
Yeah.
But
that's the
probably
thing.
sometime before.
See if you can trade with
Then yeah,
me.
We
it's
do
fine.
not enforce trades for promises, clan membership,
Also,
and other favors.
again, thanks for listening, coming out if you're here already.
Here, try
Um,
trading with me now, but if it
just to
says
recap again,
you
so
need to be
the major
mastery rank
platforms
2,
you can listen to us
that's-
now if you haven't already:
Account two-factor
um,
verification.
Google, Amazon, Spotify, TuneIn, Podbean, Stitcher, yeah. Apple
I'm not joking.
is now on the list.
Yeah, to be mastery
And
rank
anything that
level 2.
uses Apple as a
How
source,
close are you to
And
as
that?
you said
is
earlier.
up as a source,
You're like halfway there.
So I would
how
appreciate
do you
it
tell?
if you find us
So
on
if
one of
you,
those, hit that little
where
subscribe
your
to
inventory is,
podcast
and
button
then
or
look
follow
at
or
your
whatever it is
profile.
on that
Do
platform.
you see how you have a little 1 on your
and
icon?
it'll just
Yeah.
sort of
See
like
the little white
Oh,
bar?
okay.
it-
Yeah.
So if we do a high level mission,
the episodes will just appear
all
basically.
this stuff will
You
be
look on the app and it'll go, hey, there's a new
Probably.
episode of Rising Lights.
Well,
Yeah.
we can
Oh,
always
No,
sorry
trade
I've
the,
got it
then.
we
subscribed
can do
on
the trade.
Spotify,
You
so
said you were
I
gonna
know
craft
when
the key, right?
Yeah.
So we'll
you've
just
managed to get them up.
once you craft the key.
Or
Um,
at the
by
very
time
least,
we
you know
log
when I
back
put them
in,
up
it'll
and
be done.
Spotify's found them.
already
Yeah.
crafted it.
Oh,
That's-
But then also, if
Alright.
you are listening
Well,
on
you go
I-
eat,
I can,
YouTube or watching it on YouTube,
see if I
obviously
can-
watch
we
the
can try to trade
um,
another day.
The
Yeah.
topics
yeah.
and stuff.
when we get
Go
you to level
through.
2.
You-
Then
you
do
kill
leave
that.
do leave a comment saying
Talk to you later.
something along the lines of, you know, I
Alright,
watched
chat.
this. Maybe even like
I know
the,
it was
the
a short
dates that you
stream,
watched
but
it,
we're
so we
gonna
can
call
sort
it
of get an
a
idea
day
of
for today.
how long after
Yeah.
the fact people are still watching them.
That'd
And
be
if
interesting.
for whatever reason you decide to pop by my stream, because my link is always in the description of the YouTube video, and I don't know about the podcast things. I think it is, isn't it?
It's
Yeah,
it
yours
is,
is in
yeah.
there and mine's in there. Yeah.
both.
Then whenever you pop into the stream as like an icebreaker, just say, "Hey, look, I'm here from watching
Podcast,
the
yeah.
podcast," like, and give us some feedback. Yeah. Oh, fucking hell, Ramrod! God damn it, he's ending stream. Never mind.
Oh. Oh
Ah.
no.
Never mind. Let me find someone else.
We talked too long.
Let me.
we had
find someone else.
too many closing remarks. Oh well. Who else is live? We'll keep him in the back of our minds for in 2 weeks' time, or one of
Yeah.
the other streamers if he's live then. What else is on that list?
Hmm.
Talked about I don't know. I was about to say we talked about New World before and Coconuts on that.
Yeah, I think we go over to Coconut. I think he's actually playing with Cam as well, Cardboard on Man.
Ooh.
As I'm pretty sure I saw him live as well.
Probably.
Almost certain I saw him live. I've lost him.
That's
Or I
weird.
might have been.
I thought I saw him. Maybe
Or I might have
not on
been
your list. I mean
mistaken.
earlier.
There he is.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Play New World follows me on Twitter. You should too. Follows me on Twitch. Sorry, you should too. His title. But yeah, we'll go and take you over to Coconut. He had was it about a month or two ago? He had his branding done by Anubis. So you want to go and check out Anubis
Yeah,
playing
it's
Final
good.
Fantasy? He's right there on screen. Here, the CLT team from Apex is Stink here, Cody who's not live, and then Mr. Greek God who's live there. There he is. So if you want to go and watch some pro level players play Apex, then I'd definitely recommend all them. Anubis is playing Final Fantasy. If you want to go and watch that, go ahead. And Cam, awesome dude, very entertaining. But we're gonna go and take you over to Coconut, who I believe, like I said, is playing with Cam. So just as and as Kit said, he had. Or I said he had the rebrand done
You
by
said he had the
Anubis,
rebrand done by
and then you
Anubis.
said it was amazing.
Yeah,
And
does
it
look good.
really is. So we'll take you on over to Coconut again. Thank you. I know we said it when we was on about raiding Ramrod, but appreciate everybody for coming out. chilling.
Hey,
hanging
you
out.
know what? That makes 3. We normally get 3 anyway because we're filling in for the guest.
And Steve just went live and so did the Destiny show, but we'll go over to Coconut.
well.
We'll see you on the next one. Thank you very much for watching or listening.
Just before you do, emotes.
Yeah, if you are
If you
subbed or want to use channel points to unlock them for 24 hours, spam the emote when we get over there. If you're not and don't want to use your channel points, then that's completely fine as well. Twitch luckily has
Twitch
global
item, yep.
raid emotes that you can use. So
So,
go ahead and
take
spam those.
take your pick of emotes and let's fill the chat with pretty pictures and say hi.
Yeah. So we'll head on over there now. And in regards to my stream, I'll see you on Saturday. In regards to the podcast, we'll see you 2 weeks today. Not next Thursday, Thursday after. Peace.
See you in the next one. Bye.